Maybe Ms. A. Oh. Did you hurt your ankle?
Yeah.
Sprain it? So if you could, I should start passing them out. It's up to you, okay? I will, in the next couple of minutes, go over my chosen ones, the Sam one likes or whatever. So you're like, you don't have to study them all. But you should go over them all, okay? But I know the deal, and I know that there's other stuff that's going on in school and so on. And I wish we only had like 4 hours together every day. No, you don't, but I do. But yes, ma'am.
Is it safe to assume that when we...
Safe to assume.
Safe to assume.
Yes.
If we use the two-tail test equation
Yes.
every time, it'll work?
You may, but I'm going to, on the test, specify, okay? I'll say greater than or less than or prove, whatever, okay? And I'll go hint. I'm going to really help you out on that one, right? The Cambridge one uses, most of the time, it tells you which one to do, or it says the same thing that I would, all right? I will definitely direct you, hopefully, in the better path, all right? Okay, so I wrote this thing on here. We're going to get my cheesy, well, it's not cheesy, I've had this for a while, right? Actually, I had another one like this, and I swear to God, swear to something, someone stole it, but that's another matter. All right, so this is one right here. We're going to try to go over this. This is a classic, what's called clinical statistical drug trials, and sometimes also called investigational drugs, if you're that interested in it. All right, and this is some of the information. We're going to derive some of this information, and then start off, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't care how many steps you do, as long as you provide that said information. Okay? Now, I can wait a couple minutes if you wish, so I'll slow down. Don't hesitate to slow down. Murmer, hold on. Okay? Now, we did the Sandy Cat one, right? Is everybody okay with the Sandy Cat one in the IQ?
Yes.
Do you wish to see? No. No. Would you like a picture? Yes. No.
Mr. Murmer?
They're not right there. Stand by. Okay, yes. Okay. Yes, sir.
So is this problem like somewhere in here, or you made it up?
From my experience, if that's what you mean, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I had to tweak some of it, Nick, because if I put down exactly the experiment that Sammy did, then I'm violating confidentiality of X amount of magnitude, okay? So I had to change something. Of course, I changed this. Sammy, a cat can do testing, Sophia? No way, right? Well, maybe my cat, right? If you came over to my house, you're like, the cat comes up to me and goes, hey,
Well, we can because we have your address.
Oh, yeah. I have plenty of work for you if you do come, okay? All right? So, yeah. Well, my cat talks to me all the time. He does. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Who knows?
I think he does the psychedelic drug testing.
Exactly. This is not psychedelic drug testing. This is actually something very common that that the FDA sponsors, if you want to put it that way, or the drug company sponsor.
Are you sure he's not giving you drugs without what he's talking to you?
You mean you put it in my iced coffee? All right? 2 for 1 at Publix. I always wait for those. That is such a genius thing, Nick, and so on, everybody. They put the table right out, you're coming right in, and the table's right there for 2 for 1. And it's so enticing. Even if you didn't want the stuff, right? Even scrap. You still look at it, don't you? Yes. Of course you do. It's genius. I love it. I stood there for 5 minutes one time like this. And I had 3 people at Publix go, are you okay, mister? I said, yeah. They're like, what are you doing? I said, I'm reading all the NBC codes on a coffee. And the kid went, no way. I said, pick one up. And his other friend went. And he's like, the New England, I think it is, the breakfast punch and so on. And he's like, I got a red one. I said, oh, the New England one. And it's 16 ounces. And then they're like, and it's like, yeah, read the thing there. And I read it off, right? And so on. I said, it's usually 13 digits, but this one's 12. The company changed it after 3 years. And then they went, we're going to leave now. Okay, so yeah. All right, so yes, ma'am. So this is a problem here, okay? So no, maybe I am on. Sam is, right? Okay, so Sam's testing the effect of a certain ACE inhibitor. I should have said ACHE inhibitor. I drew acetylcholinesterase, not this one. This is acetylcholine esterase, right? Yeah. This is angiotensin converting enzyme. You don't have to know that, right? I'm just showing you. It's stuff for like your heart and so on. The CV pomrimel. Okay, never mind. All right, so it's just a drug, right? And he used 100 mice. Oh no. For unit dose drugs, who cares? Subjected the mice. Okay, here we go. he did something to the mouse, right, or mice, to each mouse. I get the mouse or each mice, I don't know.
Each mouse.
Each mouse. Am I right? I did it
Yes.
right? Thank you. All right. Then he did some type of test. So I give you the drug, not you. I give the mouse a drug, right? Or Sam gave the mouse a drug, not me. I didn't do this, right? And then after that, I perform some neurological test to prove whether or not the drug did something, right? And for here, it's some type of response time. Maybe I make the mouse read a paper. And he can read a paper for a paragraph, and I analyze how fast the paper is read. Okay? It could be something, for example, just light sensitivity. All right? So a neurological test. For example, a neurological test would be this. Kemi, hold your hands up like this. Okay? Now, can you feel it? Mm-hmm. Can you feel it? Mm-hmm. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
I just did a neurological test. +1, +2, +3, +4, +5. They don't do them anymore. Usually don't do them, and my wife says stop acting like a doctor. So it's to find out how sensitive she can actually perceive sensation. Okay, it can be pressure, temperature, and then there's another one as well as pain. Right, the three basic ones. Okay, so he performs this test and all this other stuff. Right, I want you to just all right, blah blah blah. Who cares? Give me the numbers. Right, it's math class. Give me the numbers. So, all right, that's all this. The mean of the average of the injected mice respond at that time right there. That's one. With an S. I wrote an S for here. Let's call that sigma, okay,
Yeah.
of standard deviation. So 1.2 seconds, Mr. Tribble, and they fluctuate, point by 0.5, right? Then Sam asks you, because you're working for him, right? He has his PhD, so you're all novices and grad slaves. And he says, do you think that this ACE inhibitor drug did anything for the response time? So you're like, oh man, where's Murmer, right? All right, so the big thing that we have to do, or you have to do, or we have to do, right, is to list down let's categorize where the numbers are, right? All right, talk to me. Where's the first number that you see?
N equals 100.
Correct, and he's right. All right, he's right. 100, yeah.
And we've got two mu's. We got to determine which ones are A and are 0.
That's right. He's right. All right, hold on, Nick. Stop talking.
Yeah.
What's that guy right there?
Standard deviation.
Yeah, he's right. All right, so you're right as well. List what you know, right?
And then,
Ah,
that one.
what's the LOS stand for? You're not lost.
Level of significance.
Level of significance, your alpha, right?
Yeah.
So right away you know your Z, right?
Yes.
The Z. And this is her company. I can't help saying that because you want to be kind of me, right? It's her company. She's like, well, hurry up, right? So the first thing, or the first and second thing, right? Because I went 6 steps, it could be 4. I don't care how many steps you do, but let's just say Roman numeral 1, okay? The first thing you want to do is to find out the H of O, the null, and then the
H sub 0.
H, so that's H, that's the null, and the
The
O.
H sub A.
Alternate, right? So I'm going to try to be, politically correct and not say H of O. You know what I mean? So the H of O, the null is what?
1.2.
So we say the mu. Sometimes if it mu 0, you don't have to. Is equal to what?
1.2, yeah.
Is it 1.2?
It's the not injected.
Not injected versus injected. I got to make sure I'm doing this right.
Because we want the response time to reduce. That's what
Right.
that's what
Which
we
one?
want. Yeah.
Which one? That's the black cat one. Yeah. So it's 1.2, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now the hot.
1.05.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. All right. So, all right, wait a minute. That is, right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
What do we want to prove? Your choice, right? Now, you can argue and take a look at this and say, well, we want to prove less, right? I recommend, if it doesn't say always do a two-tail, I'm going to do my earnest boom, okay? Because you don't know, right? So we're going to prove this, right?
Yeah.
Cover our rear ends. Better? Now, you could argue and say, hey, we can say it's less than. Then it's a left-handed test. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Remember I drew all those things?
Yeah.
Remember Carlos? Colonel? I call him Colonel now. Carlos?
Colonel.
Yeah, he said, like, could you put all the diagrams on there? And, like the left-hand, right-hand test? It is on the sheet that I gave you. I know I give you 100 sheets, but you get the idea. All right, so this is finished, right?
Yeah.
Not bad? Now, the second thing is the formula, right? Let's just write the formula, right? And I'm going to write some of the data here. So alpha is 0.05. That gives us a Z of, let's say, of the test, right? Or of this guy, of, let's say, 1.96, right? No big deal. Now, Nick said it's 100 mice were tested. Yeah. What else? And mu is going to be 1.2.
Mr. Murmer.
That's me.
Wouldn't the z-squared be negative 1.645 for point?
You want to use 1645?
Yeah.
All right, we'll use 1.645. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
6, 4, 5.
6, Murmer. 4, 5. All right. I like a little more, but that's okay. Now, it might change because I used 196, okay? So you'll have to help me. So, okay so far? List information. With me?
Mm-hmm.
It's fine to tell me. Big guys tell me a lot of things, okay?
N equals 100 or is less than?
And it's equal.
N is 100. How many samples? Sample size, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, your equal sign kind of looks like
The random variable is the injected thing, right? Okay so far?
Yeah.
All right. Z. Z of calculated, right? It's going to be a Z test. It's not going to be a T test, even though it's called a test statistic. But we're going to use Z. They use Z all the way through all the Cambridge, so I'm going to be consistent. And they don't do degrees of freedom. You'll be thanking me later, like, well, I know what he's talking about, right? All right, here we go. So we're going to use the formula. I think it's what? X bar minus mu.
over sigma.
Sometimes S over, but we're using sigma, okay? And then we're going to go S is equal to sigma. I'm going to my math teacher, my former math teacher would be nuts at me because I'm making a hypothesis right there of the sigma, but we'll be okay with it.
Over the square root.
Yeah.
Work here, right? First guy is what? X bar, right? What was it?
1.05.
1.05 minus
1.2.
1.2 over
0.5 over the square root of 100.
0.5 the square root of 100. Put them all in, okay? Don't do the calculations yet, because you might make an error, right? All right, now I did mine a little bit different. I did the, you get the idea, right? Okay. So yes, exactly. So please tell me this value. You know it's going to be negative.
Negative.
I got negative 3.
Yeah.
Negative 3.
Okay.
All right. See,
Because
I
it's
did, yeah.
0.5 divided by 10 is 0.05, and then 0.05 goes into 0.15 3 times.
Yeah, she did quick math. Did everybody? Okay. Yes, sir.
So you think that we should always use the two-tailed test?
I recommend doing it because it covers everything. Covers both extremes.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but I will tell you, okay? I'm thinking more and more when I write the test. When I talk to Sam about it, I'm going to tell you which one to. Hint, use this test, all right? If all else fails, use the double, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so it's minus 3. Does everybody agree?
Yeah.
All right. So, 1, 2, what's the next thing we have to do?
Compare them to each other?
Yeah, we have to make a conclusion, right?
Yeah.
So, you draw a picture, right? Ooh, oh wait, am I going too slow? I don't know. So here we go.
-3 tell us?
Yeah, that's a great question.
It's a z-score, so you're going to compare it to the negative 1.645 that we have.
Keep going, talk to them. You're
So
speaking
negative
beautiful.
3 is less than negative 1.645, meaning that we reject the hub. Or H of O.
Reject that, huh?
At least there's some fun.
Daddy, I'm on
So,
camera.
this is the rejection zone,
Me
right?
too.
And she's right, okay? Because even if it's plus or minus, right? You always can use plus or minus. So 1.6, that's a little less than here, right?
Yeah.
So that means he's inside here. What we found is exactly at this border, right? So he's far away from the absolute value of 1.645, right?
Yes.
Plus or minus, right? So a two-tailed test would have worked either way, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So right away, he's in this. The stuff is in the rejection zone, right? So you conclude and you say reject
H of O.
that hook. I'm sorry, the no.
Mr. Murmer.
Yes, sir.
But isn't it negative 1.645 above the negative 3?
Yeah, that's
So it would be do not reject?
Negative. Well, let's see. So minus 3 is here, minus 2, minus 1, right?
Yeah.
So it's around here.
Right. And that's in the do not reject territory.
So all this, right? Minus 3 is all the way here, right?
Yeah.
And he's still what? He's still in the rejection zone, isn't he?
Yeah.
Exactly.
How is that?
Because we stop, Nick, at this one right here, negative 1.645, right? And then this
Yeah.
is positive 1.645. That means everybody inside here is okay.
So if you're...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Does that mean it's effective?
That means we do, right? Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah, statistically seen. Okay. So anything else, Kate? Yeah? Because I still reject on mine, yeah.
But, so the z-score is 1.645.
That's correct. And I use we already did, blatantly just use a two-tailed test, right?
So the
Hold on.
negative. So it's saying it's -3, so it's less than.
He's farther away from, this is where we accept the null, this is where we reject HO.
So if it was
Okay.
in between,
If it was in here, let's say it was 1.4. How about if it was how about it's 0.57, right? You
Okay, so
accept.
it's in between
That
negative
means that there's nothing
1.645.
statistically significant, right? Right? This says, guys, if it's on the tails in any way, it says that new school, old school. You take out me, okay? Well, you get the idea. Nick,
So it has to be to the left of 0.
it has to be to the left of, not 0, of our chosen Z that gave it to us, right? You guys want to use
It's to be
1.645.
farther from 0 than the other Z.
-3 has
It
to
has
be.
to be from the Z to whatever they say, from the level of significance, right?
Yeah.
Because if it's not, then it's inside there, and it's like, hold on, your test didn't do nothing, right?
It's where -3.
It's not statistically significant, yes.
So basically, we rejected the hypothesis that the data for testing without injecting mice would be the same as injecting mice. We rejected that hypothesis.
Right.
So
Yeah,
thus the
what-
drug works.
whatever, right.
Oh, that's what I was.
so.
Oh, yes, okay,
by
so now it
failure-
gets a little more, right.
So by failure, it's a success.
Yeah, sometimes success is
That's
failure,
what
and
I'm
failure is
saying.
success, right? Okay, that's what you meant.
So all
So,
I'm saying
yes.
is reject.
Yeah, because we rejected what? This came true, right? Remember? Our alternative became true.
This is
Yeah, how
not
do you,
equal
I'm
to-
sorry, how do you,
How did we identify?
yeah, how do you get that,
How did I get what?
that, you reject that?
How did I get, okay. You mean how did I get the alternative?
Yes.
We proposed it, right?
Okay.
It could either be greater than, less than, or not equal to. Those three possibilities.
Oh, that's. how
Only
you-
those three.
That's how you get the two tails.
Yeah.
So
I claim, this is what I claim. I work for her. This is what you claim. You work for me for 100 grand. Okay. Yeah. And that means you guys come up and go, she's lying to you, Murmer. I don't care if she gave you your PhD. She's lying to you. And they're like, shh, I want to stay employed, right? So now I give this stuff to my competitor, right? So that means they're selling placebos. Go ahead, kid.
So the only way that you would not reject the HO is if it was equal to 1.2.
Anywhere in between negative 1.645 and positive 1.645.
So-
Great question.
Like if you
Inside the camel's hump. Go ahead.
So if you have a bell curve and you
Yeah.
have your 1.645
Yeah.
on both sides, anything less than negative 1.645
Is
or
not-
greater than 1.645 is reject the
Okay.
HMO.
Okay.
Because
No.
the data
Go.
ended up so far from the expected mean that there's got to be something going on here. Because otherwise,
Alright.
data sets are always shifted around a little bit, kind of close to the mean. What the
Yeah,
is
yeah,
set.
yeah.
So if it's close enough to the mean.
Yeah.
then There's no point in changing our hypothesis.
So we all agree now that we reject your company. Okay, we reject the no. Poor Riley, right? It's like, no, I'm
So
gonna
we
fight
were,
back.
we're
Right?
rejecting that.
So conclusion. So the interpretation would be what? Okay.
That the
There
mean-
is. Say it this way. There is
Significant statistical evidence.
that.
That the drug improves response time.
Is that right?
And we have to say it like that.
Yeah, I prefer, yes. Don't just go, it's significant, okay? Was significant, big deal, right? Like, me too, all right? So that would be 4. Ms. Abear's on it,
So
okay?
there's statistical, I mean,
There-
significant statistical evidence that the company is.
That the drug works, right? Is that what we said?
Yeah.
Yeah, drug works. Eileen's like saying, yeah. Sorry, fucking Eileen. All right? So remember, whatever our Z is, now, later on, I think I have Mr. Davis, next period, and he's taking stats, and he's like, well, you know what they do, Murmer? I'm like, what? You make us look up the p-values. I'm so lazy, you don't have to. Because if you looked up this one, and then you compared it to 0.05, you're going to get the same thing, right? 0.05's here, negative 0.05's there, remember you divided by 2, whatever, you're going to find out that, whoa, that probability is over there. It's an extreme, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Or, let's say, for example, it came positive, then it would be over there. So you know that it's not part of the norm.
So that means the mean would actually be less.
Yeah.
So your Z interval that you have, that is the one that was given to you that corresponds to alpha.
Correct, yes.
And then so
you
you-
made me choose 1645. I would have won 196.
Yeah. And you want to see if that calculated z sub 0, or z sub o, like where it falls, if it
Yes.
falls to the
See it
left.
calculated.
Yeah.
Yes. It's called a test statistic. You calculate it, okay? You calculate it, Ryan.
Alright, so, if this was not a two-tail test, the original z-score, when we turn that alpha into a z-score, we do it just like we do normally.
Yeah.
And then we would say either greater than or less than.
Yeah.
And then we would just look to see if the new z-score is greater
Either
than
or,
less.
right? Yeah, whatever one you chose.
But what if it's like, if we're testing for greater than, but it's ridiculously less than?
Ooh, there's an error. Could be a type 1 or type 2 error, or your calculation's
So then we
incorrect.
should have done a two-tail test, though.
Agreed.
So can we
That's the
just-
next thing I would have done in my data. Yes, for my data, yes.
Can we just do it to
Forever, no, because I want you to get familiar how to do the other one.
Because
Okay?
it may not give us points for always using a two-tailed.
Right. And then maybe we'll do one that's on the Cambridge, okay? To make like these. They just do Z's, right? I'm like, wow, that's all they do? And then they compare the Z's, and then they said that the English, okay, the English. They say it's either contradicts or there's evidence. That's what they say.
Yep.
Okay? Not bad. This is, you're beyond this.
It makes
Okay?
sense.
You're around here.
No,
No?
no.
I used to teach OChem. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You don't like it?
I love chemistry, but I'm not good at it anymore. I haven't had a
I'm
class
Well,
in 2 years.
Well, that's fine. You don't like enzyme and substrate products that make a transitional component and then become products after?
No,
The
Miss
one
Teacher.
part of
I like
biology
it.
that I like absolutely
Miss
hated
Dietrich, who
was when I was
taught
learning
that
about
class.
like molecular level stuff.
Yeah.
I got a test she's like,
Biological.
how does substrate level phosphorylation work during glycolysis? And I'm like,
How do you remember that?
because I hated that test.
Now,
I hated that test.
yeah, she remembers. Yeah, sadly, he remembers something that was an extreme. Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, phosphorylation. Now, did they give you? Did they talk about? I couldn't help myself. Right? Did they give you like concentrations to find out, or they just wanted a blanket statement show?
Just a straight up statement.
Could be because of glucose 6-phosphate causes the increased phosphorylation.
I got the question wrong, sorry.
It doesn't matter.
But
You
needless to say,
remember what
sorry.
the question
Yeah.
said, so.
Okay. Yeah. There's a 12-step thing for phosphorylation. Right.
I'd rather you teach than Miss Teacher teach.
Thank you, but that's,
Or just have-
I'm only here for less than a week. All right, are you guys okay with this? So if I did a 195, it still would have been good, right? Now, why would I choose a 195 versus your 1645?
Because you like it?
That's true, yes. And I'm biased, yes. And I work for Eileen, right? She's like, yeah, you better, right?
It'd give you a wider
Wider range, wherever
Exactly.
that meat can be, right? Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, well, what are you talking about? I use a 99.999 confidence interval. Whoop. It does work, right? Or whatever, or it doesn't work.
100% confidence in it.
Yeah.
It exists, we're good.
We're good. It's in there somewhere, right? Okay? Remember, this is all on the basis of probability, right? And then over so many trials. Thousands and thousands of trials, possibly. Whatever it is. And then we standardize it. Not bad, or normalize it.
If the z-score we find is less than or greater than, that equivalates to the mean shifting less than or greater than.
Accordingly, or respectively, yes. Me too.
Okay.
Okay?
I get it.
Yes. Not bad? All right. You want to do one more, or you want to work one together, solo, or whatever? You guys work together on one? Yes, ma'am. All right. So before we do, yes, ma'am. All right. One more. I'll tell you what. Why don't you guys get the Cambridge guy out, right? Yeah. And I'm going to circle some of them that I already like. Okay. Hence, wiggle, wiggle. Is that really good? I don't know if Miss K does that, but I'm starting to dematerialize.
She just gives us a packet and
Let's go at it.
last year she used to circle the ones that she wanted us to do, but this year, like they are.
We haven't
We've only had,
had
I
Cambridge
think
back.
we only had one packet
Right.
this year.
I can't even remember what's this year and last year.
Okay.
Teachers say.
Mr. Murmer?
Yes, sir.
So it's always you take the absolute value if you have a negative z value?
You can, yes. If I'm doing greater than, it'd be positive, right? If I'm doing less than, it'd be negative. If I'm doing a two-tail, it could be either positive or negative, right?
Yeah.
So they always do that. And like, you inspired me by saying like, hey, in the notes, because I went back there, it's like, oh, he's reading the notes, so I better be on it. There's something that says,
How come I have?
that talks about it, right? If I can find which packet of it. You know, that has the picture, and it says 2 times the whatever?
Yeah.
It's this one right here, right, Nick?
Z test for a population mean?
Yes, yeah.
And you
it
got the
shows
formula?
these pictures,
Yeah.
okay? So, yes. And notice they do the absolute value for the
She
two-tail
was gonna
test.
give me her
Yeah.
lady, and then she.
And you multiply by 2.
But what if it's not a two-tail?
Because she
then I have to say greater than or less than. That's
So, like-
my hint to you.
So for this problem right here,
Let me get to that first.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
hold
just
on.
asked for
All
that.
right, so how much time left, ladies and gentlemen?
you've got about
All right, so let me circle a couple of these that are of interest. Okay, one of them requires you to find the end. Okay, yeah, I want you try it out, but yeah,
Mr. Romer, what are those, what are the questions you're talking about?
the one that says Sammy Cambridge practice.
It looks like
It looks like yeah, see, boom. There's like 12 or 13 on there. Okay, all right. Hey,
buried.
all right. So why don't you get this out, and then we're gonna which ones do you like, which ones do you don't like, or whatever. Okay, that'll help you out so you can focus. I know there's a lot of. Are you getting bombarded by teachers yet?
Yes.
Is this coming to the? Well, you guys are only AP class, my people, in your AP classes. Bombarded, like they're already shoveling stuff on you. Yeah. Okay, so I'll wait for them to get this done. All right, everybody got this down? Poor Hugh, because I go yeah. Okay, I'll let you look if you want. Okay. And then tomorrow's a shorter day. Again, I'll probably give you stuff about proving someone's guilt or innocence based upon the thing there, right? Maybe you're guilty or she's innocent. Or you're innocent, she's guilty. I'm always guilty, as my mother would say. But that's another matter. All right? So if it's on the tails, then you reject. If it's inside the camel's hump, wherever you chose that Z, then you accept. Or you fail to reject, right? That's how they talk about it.
Good enough.
For government work, okay? All right, I'll take care of that, sir, on my lunch. All right, that's a good pose. All right, so does everybody have this in front of them? Do they need this?
Yes.
All right, so which ones do you like, Murmer? Which ones do you like? Now, I don't care about, on a personal aspect, I don't care about number 2, but I want you to be exposed to number 2, and maybe we'll work that out a little later, maybe tomorrow if you want, on how to find the N. And notice they gave you the Z-score. They even gave you a negative, right? Okay, for number 2. Now, number 1's not bad, and that's not bad at all. And you have the answers anyway, okay?
Yeah.
It's all right? So I'm going to probably follow something very similar to what they do, except, I'm lazy, okay? I like number 5. Well, the cat texted me, number 5, okay? All right? So 2 and 5. Numero dos.
Yes.
4?
Yeah.
Is that where you have to add up the mean? It's not that
Yeah.
bad.
No.
Because, and then it says it wants you to state the reason. If I did, that would be an extra credit one for 4. So we're ready. Okay, cute. Okay, so 2 and 5, so to speak, so far. Yes. All right, 6 and 7. Yeah. Oh, it talks about English homework for number 9.
so do that one.
No, you don't have to do any of them, but that's the ones I prefer.
The preferred ones are the
Circled ones. Yes, 2, 4, 6, 7, 9.
092. Okay.
Nueve. And I think I did one more on the back. It's like sample evil problems. It talks about, yes, I know exactly, about rose bushes because I used to, I still do to this effect. The day do rose bushes and so on. No, numero dos.
You have rose bushes?
Yes? Oh, you don't think that's manly? Yes, I used to have arbors and everything else. And I would actually, it's called splicing the rose with another donor. She's like, yeah, I know you go. That's what Emily said. I think so. Okay. All right. So why don't you try some of these out for the remainder of time? If you have questions, I am here.